outside from that, I mean, the biggest thing I want to do is just answer your questions and try to help you guys with this, the stuff you guys have questions about. What are the stuff what's something that I can help you with? Is there any questions that you guys have? Yeah.
Like you said, like to use Twitter and stuff, and I've heard of people like getting jobs and stuff through Twitter. I will be honest, my boss maybe set up a Twitter account like a year ago. I never looked at it.
Yeah.
So how do you use something that's kind of, in high school is used more for like connecting with friends? How do you change that into be more of a business?
Yeah, but I mean, you can't think of it as a business. Like, the worst thing that I see people do on those sites, especially Twitter, is reaching out and saying, being very business-like, right? The first thing you got to do is build a relationship, right? You can't reach out to someone that you don't know and be like, hey, let's do, can I have a job or whatever, or can we do business together? No, you gotta build a relationship first. I mean, you have to have some type of rapport with that person. So those are all, you need to build a relationship with people on there, and don't think of it as a tool to, get a job or whatever it may be right away. And the thing is that you can't just set it up right away and expect stuff to happen right away either. I mean, just like the friendships you make on a daily basis, it's the same thing, except this is just online. So allow it to take its course, and it'll take time. So yes, but yeah, no, definitely just be active on it. Post. It doesn't have to be business related either. Like the stuff you enjoy talking about or the stuff you enjoy learning about. If you like Cosmo articles, post a couple Cosmo articles. Post the stuff that interests you. Because other people that type of stuff interests them will, they'll gravitate towards you because it's a similar type of interest. But the biggest thing is making those interests known. Because unless you post that stuff and unless you are active about those type of topics, no one will ever know, and you'll just be another person. Yeah.
So you said you sent an email to that guy who started the company in his basement.
Yeah.
What did you say to him that made him want to meet with you, and then what did you bring to the table that made him want to do business with you?
Yeah. So I didn't bring anything to the table, but it's basically just like, hey, I read your article, awesome stuff. I'm interested in what you're doing. I'd love to get involved. Let me know whatever I can do. I'm a student at Western. I don't know anything, but yeah, let's at least get together and talk. So, but that's the thing though is you don't need to know. It's the hustle aspect. You know what I mean? That's probably what he saw that I brought to the table was. After we met a couple times, you figure out who has fire and who doesn't have fire. And the people that don't, you don't want to, you know what I mean? Because they can't be that valuable to you if they don't have the fire to make it happen. So when I first started, I had nothing. I didn't bring anything to the table at all. I didn't get my first computer until I was 18. Yeah. So, I literally went in there typing like this, right? And now, you pick stuff up. So my whole knowledge base, where I got, when you go early stage in a startup, you kind of have to pick stuff up quick, and you don't have anyone teaching you, especially when it's a group of young guys that really are just kind of like, hey, here's some cash, make something happen, okay? So, I did, for the PR side of things, for example, I had zero experience whatsoever. Had no idea how to write press release, had no idea how to do anything. So what I did is, I looked up on the Seattle Startup Index and saw the top 5 companies, reached out to all of them, said, hey, I want to talk to a PR person, I'm a student at Western. Use student at Western. People want to help students for some reason. But I reached out and I was like, hey, I'm a student at Western, I'd like to come down and pick your brain, see, what I can do, I'm with the startup, blah, blah, blah. And set up 8 meetings in Seattle on a full day, just went bang, 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 and learned a shitload. And those were all resources that I used down the road to, I sent them press releases, said, hey, what do you think about this, right? But that's the type of stuff, you have to make yourself known, and the information that you don't have, you gotta go get it somewhere. There's so many resources out there, but you just have to go out there and get them. So, with the PR, for example, I had zero experience, and we landed articles in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, PC World, Fast Company. It was nuts. So it's all stuff that anyone can do. That's the part that makes me. I'm not a brilliant guy. I'm not intelligent more than you guys. I'm on myself too. But at the end of the day, we're all students at Western, right? I mean, we all are in the same boat. I had zero experience 3 years ago, I guess now. So the biggest thing is that you can do whatever the hell you want. You just have to go do it. I hear someone, like, it drives me nuts to hear people with 3 classes a quarter and talking about, oh, I'm just so tired, I'm just so overwhelmed, I'm so stressed. It's like, shut up, no you're not. You know what I mean? But it's that type of stuff that you gotta add more shit. I mean, you should be going, okay, let me figure out how to say this. So I like to push myself to the point of like, very, very end, right? But you guys can take that in moderation. But you should be to the point where you are very much exhausted every day. If you're not exhausted by the end of the day, you need to be doing more shit. You know? I mean, honestly, because there's so much stuff, especially at this age. I mean, we're young, and we don't have any commitments, really, except for school. Now's the time where you gotta make your name, and you gotta make your groundwork, you gotta lay your groundwork now. So, you should be exhausted at the end of the day. You should get involved in so much shit that you're tired when you go home, right? Not stressed because you have 2 tests. Right? So, sorry. But yeah, so that's why I love that stuff. But, yeah. Ask me questions right now. Give me stuff right now. Yeah.
So, like, how do you network with Twitter? Like, what do you say? I guess. I don't know.
Don't get stuck on Twitter right now. Right?
I don't know what you would
if
say.
Twitter's not your thing, don't worry about it. Twitter I use for, mainly I use it for kind of, aggregating content. So basically, I follow the people that that I'm either friends with or are influencers in the industry, and I follow them because they post good content, right? And the biggest thing too that you got to do is you gotta learn. You gotta keep filling your mind with more information, not the shit that they plug in classes. I mean, I'm talking like real shit. So like, try to get as much content as possible. I mean, you have to follow these people to follow whatever the hell you want to do, but it doesn't have to be Twitter. The main thing that I'm trying to say is make sure you gain content from these people and you learn from these people, and you read the stuff that matters. Every morning I wake up and I read an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of TechCrunch. I mean, this is very industry specific, but TechCrunch and Mashable and Rewrite Web and all that stuff. So I read stuff specific to my industry, so I know what the hell is going on. And you guys gotta stay up to date with that. But in terms of interactions on Twitter, you don't have to use Twitter. I mean,
yeah,
you
well, I
need
was
to
just
tweet,
saying,
yeah, but the way that I do it is, I mean, you can reply to people and it's very casual, and it's just a way of kind of starting a conversation. So if someone posts something that you have interest in or that relates to you somehow, you can reply to them back. And the whole thing is just getting some type of communication going. You just try to communicate with as many people as possible. The more people you talk to, the better. So, yeah.
So you when you were just you were a freshman at Western and you were just reading the Herald about this guy who's starting something in his basement.
Yeah.
And you emailed him and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
You met him for lunch and then he hooked you up.
Yeah. Oh, I met him for lunch twice, and then I got an email just kind of out of the blue that was like, hey, I'm looking to bring on someone part time, make $8 an hour, and down. So I did that, and that was it, and just kind of took off from there. It was nuts, but it's those little things, I mean, the biggest thing that you can take from that is that it's very much possible, even in Bellingham. Yeah.
So wait, what does Tatango do for Tatango?
Yeah. So Tatango is a group text messaging website. Allows you to send one message to a group of X number of people. Yeah. Pretty simple concept. Yeah, we grew a lot. We had about 300,000 registered users, which is pretty good. A lot of religious organizations, sports teams, that type of stuff for communication among members. So, yeah, the company I'm with now is a lot bigger than that. About 45 employees at the company I'm with now. Yeah.
What exactly is your industry?
My industry?
Yeah.
Just tech, yeah. And by the way, tech is kick-ass. If you are trying to figure out what you want to do, look into tech, honestly, because anyone can excel in it. I mean, as evident of me, I mean, I'm here in Bellingham, and I'm 22 years old. So it's very much, it's very much open to young people, and it's something that you can really make a mark in pretty quick. And you don't need to, I mean, the thing is too is in tech, they look to you guys as the front runners. Like any other industry, if you look at, I wanted to get into finance initially. I wanted to be like a stockbroker. You know, the thing with those type of industries is that it's very gray-haired, right? I mean, the people that make the decisions and that are the leaders are the gray-haired people that have been there for so long. But in tech, it's the innovators, it's the young people that come in with a new idea. So if I can tell you anything as well, I mean, tech is awesome. And there's so many different venues for that. Whether it's starting something of your own or getting involved with an early stage startup. I mean, they're looking for young hustlers to get in there and you'll learn a shitload. So tech is awesome. Yeah.
So with all of the kind of success you were met with really quickly in the tech industry,
Yeah.
what made you decide to stay in school and finish out your degree?
Yeah, it's a good question. I ask myself that every day. So the biggest thing for me, by the way, stay in school.
Don't do drugs.
I need a dare share. No, but the biggest thing for me was just kind of sanity, to be honest with you. I did all these things. Okay, I did all these things before in the previous company, and my parents like didn't really care. They kept asking me about school, blah blah blah. And I was like, well, you know. So that was the biggest thing for me, is that during that, you know, when I had all this success in my previous company, it still kind of came back to that. And for me, it's just kind of one of those sanity things that I had a year left, and I could do it. I could pump it out, and just get it done, and still work, and still, you know, be doing what I love. So that's why I went back to school, and I'm doing that on the side. But I'm very minimal putting time towards school, but I'm definitely doing it. But yeah, I mean, it's tough though. I mean, to be completely honest with you, there's been a lot of days that I've been very close to not doing it. But yeah, and I got some insane offers from Google and Yahoo and Facebook and Twitter, and decided to stay in school. So it is what it is. But no, I love what I do now, and I'm building good connections and everything. So it's a good gig. Yeah.
What are you getting your degree in?
Marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not computer science or anything?
Not computer science. No, I'm very much not a developer at all. That's the thing too, is that you don't need to be like, if you think tech is very much developer heavy, like there's people that do that, right? I mean, there's developers that build websites. You don't need to build websites. You just need to do what you do. I mean, do what your specialty is. I didn't know what my specialty was until I actually got in the industry and figured it out. But you need to just get into something and really understand who you are as a person. If I was a stockbroker right now, I would hate my life, honestly, because it's just so slow, it's so dull. But by the way, if any of you guys want to be stockbrokers, no, but I realize that I like fast-paced companies, and I like business development. I like connecting with people. I like making relationships, and that's why I'm good at that. So get involved and figure out what you're good at, what you enjoy doing,